Spencer, I think it was kind of noteworthy. You see all the 9 of the 11 players yesterday were defensive guys. So,
No question.
That obviously trickles down to spring ball and next year's team.
Yep.
How do you look at trying to replace some of the spots and how it's going so far?
Yeah, no, BJ, good question. I mean, it's definitely been something that we've been preparing for, like we talked about even in January with signing day and then the second signing day period. So we knew it was coming. Obviously, yesterday being pro day, so excited for these young men because a lot of them have been here for so many years and just seeing their growth and development. So yesterday was an awesome moment for this place, an awesome moment for them. But it does show the amount of players we're not only losing on defense, but also leaders we're losing, production we're losing. And so it's been really fun this spring for guys to play, guys to get a lot of reps that maybe hadn't yet. The good thing with some of our guys getting banged up last year was some of these guys had to play. So maybe they didn't go into last year as a starter. They were able to get some really good reps as the season went on because some of our guys got banged up. So there's guys out there with playing experience. There's some guys that this is their first couple months on campus, with some of the early enrollees. So it's a really good mix of some guys that have played and even some of our guys that are returning, maybe banged up, not able to play as much. So we're able to play a lot of young guys, a lot of new faces, and get a really good idea of where they're at. So the big thing for us is just building the foundation. They don't need to be perfect. I'm not going to be perfect. We tell them all the time, but the foundation with which we play is everything. So for us, like our emphasis, communication and eye control. You can do that regardless of your talent level. It's our job to get you ready and prepared to communicate every snap and know what I'm looking at. Then pursuit, like how hard you play has nothing to do with your skill, your talent, how many games you played on the blue, it doesn't matter. So just building some of those, and that's only to name a few, we're just trying to continue to build the foundation with a younger group.
How noticeable is it that Scott Matlock's not out there this year, and how important is it to find a leader in that defensive line?
Yeah. Well, obviously with a guy like Scott Matlock, not only his production on the field, his leadership on the field, his leadership off the field. So, losing a player like Scott Matlock's a big deal. He's done so much for us on and off the field and can't be more excited for him to play on Sundays, but it is a big loss for us. And we're still, obviously, throughout spring, throughout summer, throughout fall camp, trying to look to build, who is that guy that's going to step in his place? And it doesn't maybe have to be a D lineman. It can be a linebacker. It can be a DB, but we're looking to find who those guys are. And right now, our big thing, not only just to the defense, but everyone's like, prove it. This isn't the time for you to tell me. This isn't the time for you to tweet about it. This is the time for you to prove it with your actions. How you show up in the morning, how you prep, how you train, that is going to prove to us that you can lead, that you can win your one-on-one, and you can do what it takes to continue to build this to an elite defense, and we want to continue to keep that standard. And that's the big challenge to our guys was we did some really good things on defense last year. The standard is the standard. It's not like, we lost these guys, so here we go. It's making sure everybody understands the standard, coaches included, and then us continuing to build to that as we work all the way to the fall.
Your personnel is going to look so much different next year. Will there be any difference in the scheme, or could you start to mess around a little bit if you have more defensive backs that you trust or anything like that?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is always, to me, it's always, whatever schemes you're running, it doesn't matter if your players can execute it, right? It's all about what your players can do. We obviously have a DNA of who we're going to be on defense and things that we feel very strongly about, but it's all about what our players can execute and what highlights their talents. There could be a call that last year was really good because of a player, Scott Matlock or what have you. This year, maybe not so much. So that's what we're still going through this spring to find out, who are we defensively? We have the standards for which we play and how we prep, non-negotiables. But now, how do we evolve? And it's exciting as coaches to see, what are some things we need to evolve to and get to because of having a younger defense and a crew that hasn't played as much? What are some things they can do really well? How can we breed into them as much confidence as they're going to need, especially going into play Washington game 1 and obviously the rest of the whole we got?
It's weird. You're still young, but it feels like you've been here forever.
Yeah, no question.
Are you in what type of rhythm is Spencer Danielson in right now with his career? You're still, I feel, getting better every year, attacking the world as a defensive coordinator. Like, where are you mentally with that and the place you are, how long you've been here?
Yeah. No, it's been such a huge blessing to be here the years I have. It's crazy that I'm going on, my 7th season here. And me and my wife are I've talked to you guys, but so blessed to be here. We love this place, love these players, the staff. And so I think just like anything, the more you do something, the more you get in rhythm. But it's always a fine line because there's a fine line between getting in rhythm and getting comfortable. And I always try and fight because the second you get comfortable, you're going to get caught slipping really quick. And so for me, that's just not really how I've been wired. I've got pages and pages of things that I'm consistently working to get better at that I need to. Could be from a defensive coordinator standpoint, could be from a leader standpoint, could be from all these different facets. So it is awesome being able to be at a place this many years because I'm able to see players from freshman to pro day. And that gives me a lot of joy, a lot of fulfillment because seeing where these kids come from to where they are now. But for me personally, there's so much that I'm excited to grow in, not only to help these players, but for me personally. So there's a long list of things that I'm excited to continue to push and grow in and improve on. And I'm excited to do it. I think that's the thing. The second that you stop having that thrive to grow and that urgency to improve, I just think at that point you probably shouldn't be doing this anymore. That's at least my philosophy. Regardless of how many years you've been somewhere or whatever you've done, that's what I love about this sport and love about coaching is there's always something you can grow in. It's a new group. And maybe something that worked last year, like we talked about, is not going to work this year. And it's our job to make sure we do the best thing for our players. And that's what motivates me because we've got a great group in that locker room. Yeah, we've lost some guys that are going to go play in the NFL, which is awesome. We got a great group to coach. Not perfect. I'm not perfect. But a group that you love to come to work. And that's my passion is, okay, am I doing everything in my power to make sure either from calls to practice playing to what we're doing is putting them in the best possible situation? And are they growing as men on and off the field? Like that's everything to us. And so I know it's kind of a long answer to your question, but love being here these years, love this place, love these kids, but very, very excited for not only the things that I need to grow in, but the things that we're going to do as a staff to continue to push this standard forward.
I know you don't have some guys out there due to injury and stuff, but at corner and then I guess in safety too. I mean, trying to replace Biggs and trying to replace some guys at safety. Who stood out, I guess, to this point?
Yeah, obviously there's some guys banged up that aren't able to practice right now in spring, so we'll be able to answer that a little bit more come summer, come fall camp. But some guys have been stepping up. I think Jalen Clark's had a really good spring ball. Once again, there's some things that he was able to play more as the year went on with some of our guys getting injured. He's done some really good things. So once again, as a younger guy, some things that I'm excited for him to grow in all facets, but he's taken a big step. Amarion McCoy, who's a junior college transfer, he's done some good things. Obviously, same thing. Still a lot that we're excited to see him growing, but they've done a good job stepping up and getting a lot of reps because of some of the guys that have been out. So that's the corner position. At the safety position, Rodney Robinson, who obviously started last season for us and played a lot, he's taken step because now he needs to step into a big leadership role with Tyreek Jones not there, J.L. Skinner not there. It's time for him to really elevate his leadership and how he sets the umbrella for a full defense, and he's taken a big step this spring. Shayla Depot has done some really good things this spring, not only in how he blitzes and how he covers, but all the other things that it takes to play nickel here in regards to how you prep, how you communicate, how you set the field, all the different things we're asking for him. So those are just to name a couple of guys that have shown that they're on a really good trajectory. Now, a long way to go, but on a good trajectory, and we're excited where they're going, especially with some of the guys that are, A, not in the program anymore, or 2, that are obviously banged up.
We got a chance to catch up with Zeke after Pro Day yesterday. What do you think some of his best qualities or attributes are that will translate to the next level?
With Zeke, he's one of the savviest football players I've ever been around. What I mean by that is I think a key to being a really good linebacker is you obviously need to understand the schemes. You need to understand how you're being attacked from an offense, but you got to be able to win in the gray. In this day and age, an offense could watch what Patrick Mahomes is doing on a Sunday night football game, and you might see that exact play the next game you're playing them. That's just the reality of it. And so you need to have players that know their rules, know the defense, and know how to win in those situations. And Zeke is one of the savviest smart football players I've been around in regards to how he sees keys, how he knows he's being attacked. And that's what I'm excited for. I'm excited for a team to take a shot on him because he's got really good film, and I know he's going to put the work in to really show up on special teams and on defense. But I think the biggest thing that jumps out to me about Zeke is just how savvy of a football player he is.
What was it like to watch DeAndre Pierce, who was in the building last year, give his football career another chance?
No doubt. It was exciting. I obviously, once again, for being here, so I remember when DP was here, played safety, did a great job for us, obviously moved on to Arizona State for a couple of years. And so him coming back, working and recruiting, still having that burning desire to play the game and feeling like it's not done yet. So it was awesome to see him out there, run around, competing, because DP's he's a hell of a football player. So once again, excited to see what happens for him. And that's the same case with all these guys. I'm proud of the fact of all they've done to get to this point. Now and I told them, it's in God's hands now, guys. You've done the work. You've done everything you could to this point. You have film. You have your pro day. You have some of these guys' combine numbers. At that point now, stay training, stay ready, and just be ready when you get the phone call.
As you look back at last season, how do you feel like you guys rushed the passer, especially after George and Dimitri went down? With
Yeah,
injury?
obviously was something with Dimitri and George getting banged up there early on in the year that we had to improve. I think, like I said, I take a lot of responsibility too. I had to put him in better situations to create better matchups for him because, once again, you're playing with a younger guy. Maybe he can't win that one-on-one against a tackle that the other guy could. So the biggest thing is just I got to find a better way to put guys in situations. And so because pressuring and confusing a quarterback is a huge part of what we do defensively. If we can't confuse the quarterback and how we disguise and play defense, and then we can't get to him, you're not going to be successful. I mean, that's the signal caller. That's where everything's run. So we're always trying to find better ways to attack the quarterback. Obviously, confuse him first and foremost, but attack him. And that could be from pressures. It could be alignments. It could be finding guys in certain situations that's a better matchup. So we got to continue to build on it, and especially with the guys we have, that's been a big emphasis for us this spring.
Along those same lines, Andrew Simpson seems like he has a natural knack for rushing the passer. Where does that come from?
A lot of that's innate. I think he's I definitely can't take credit for it. I mean, he's a guy that has a lot of really natural bend, natural blitz ability, knows how to get on edges. It's been cool for me with Andrew to see. I mean, he has a lot of that skill set just naturally. Like, that's who he is. He's a savvy football player, can blitz, can rush. But it's cool for him this spring to take a step in all the other things that we ask for as a linebacker, how he communicates, how he handles his business, and all the things that don't involve him just going to go win and rush. But he definitely has that ability, and he's going to be used in a major way in that role too. Could be in sub packages, could be on mixed downs, but his blitz technique and how he can attack a quarterback and attack a rush lane has been awesome to see.
Markelle Reed. It's crazy. He was playing in the COVID year, and it's like he's just, now all of a sudden.
Yep.
What are your expectations for him? Can he get back to being? I thought he was on pace to be like an all Mountain West caliber corner.
Absolutely.
Can he get back there? What are you expecting him
Yeah,
to?
that's our goal, 100%. And the same thing I talked to Markelle, and that's his goal too. And he's got an awesome mental makeup, and how he's been attacking the training room, coming back from injury, how he's been attacking the weight room with Coach Hogard. I know that's his mentality, and he feels like his best football is in front of him.
You expect him to be?
And that's the same way I feel. Like, for me, with everything, this whole defense, and you guys know me, even through the summertime, like, I joke with guys, the depth chart you see is a seating chart. Like, this is just a way so we can get reps and the practice can move. This is not a depth chart. No one is a 1, no one is a 2, no one is a 3. And so even with a Markelle Reed, he's going to get every opportunity to come out and compete. But I expect big things from him. I expect him to come out and compete in a major way come this summer and fall camp.
Linebacker, we're talking about Zeke being out. I mean, I know DJ's out this spring too, but who's looking good at linebacker?
Obviously, I think Andrew Simpson's had a good spring. Obviously, there's still, as a younger linebacker, a lot that I'm excited for him to continue to grow, and he needs to finish spring and summer, but he's done some really good things. It's been cool to see some younger guys step up too, like Jake Ripp, redshirt last year, and he's done some really good things out there. He's going to be on a lot of special teams. He's out there flying around, making plays. So those would be the two that jump out to me that I'm excited to see what their growth is, and it's been good to get those guys some reps.